Oh, Jay's gonna go off here in a second.
Yeah, I think that the it's a slap in the face. I'll be one of the first to say that out there. It's a slap in the face because if you think of the even if you think of the new Mercy system, right? It takes you 6 pulls to get one Mercy promo. So the problem with that is you're talking about at the end of a grind, of a daily grind to get league points. And, if you're not purchasing league points, you got to almost be committed to at least getting max value for your league pass points every day, right? So getting all the way up to that 1775 at the end every day. You're working all that time for the improved rampage. All right, cool. That's a great weapon. Again, that you add a great weapon, but you take away a tune, and then you try to compensate it with advanced and ultra tokens, which yes are nice. They get me wrong, they're nice, but they should have been added into the battle pass system that included a tune.
Hmm.
Now you're
Agree.
taking that away, and you're taking that value and you're decreasing it in terms of the amount you're paying for it, but the compensation yield is horrible. You're getting 33% if you think about it, right? Because it's 6 pulls for a Mercy tune, and you're working all the way to the end. If you work all the way to the bonus tier, because you have to max out the bonus tier,
Yeah,
like you
you
pointed
have
out
to
in
do
your
the
video.
bonus tier.
So if you don't max out the bonus tier, then you are um you're going to get 33% of a Mercy yield. And that's if you get a promo in those 2 pulls at the end. So that's, a couple of weeks worth of work for 33% of a Mercy pull,
Hmm.
of a Mercy promo, if you don't get a tune in those 2 pulls. So it literally has cut the value for not only, pay to play players, but for free to play players, because I can't tell you how many people were, oh man, Nora was a great tune. She cost you $20 and a little bit of work,
That's true.
if that.
That's true.
So that's the, I'll let it, I won't take up too much time on that because there's a lot more I could say on that, but I'll let everybody else say, speak on that.
Absolutely. Yeah, the battle passes. Go ahead, Mandy.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I mean, I don't think it's bad value for money, for
Hmm.
what you get, for the £10 or $10, whatever it is.
Hmm.
But the fact that, yeah, they have completely cut the tune is definitely a slap. Just because, like you say, there was some really good tunes in all of those. Tyrese, Nor, just to name a couple. And now, again, the free to play, a lot of free to play players, or obviously not completely free to play because they were spending, but they would buy the battle pass
Hmm.
because they were going to get a new LB3 tune. Whereas now, where's the incentive to do that? Because there's a good chance you wouldn't get even one, a G4 copy. So what's the point?
Yeah, and the so for me, right? I don't know if you guys know, but I'm a mathematician, so I teach statistics daily. That's my job. I know I create content for RTS, but that's what I do. And the statistics are not statisticking. Like the numbers just don't work out. Going through them, looking through them, it just doesn't work out in favor. So like on the advanced wheel, for me to get the chase tune, I am averaging 24 to 26 pulls on the advanced token wheel. Averaging. Ultra tokens, a little bit different. So I'm averaging anywhere from 9 to 14 pulls on the ultra token wheel. Right? I've had some luck there. But the ultra token wheel is 3 times more than the advanced wheel. And also on top of that, they're the same tunes. They're not new ultra. So like if I pull on the ultra token wheel and only get the chase tune, all those other tunes that I'm getting are useless for me because I already have all of them, right? So I could imagine what somebody who has all these tunes is going through, and they don't have the luck that I have on ultra, and they don't have any luck on advanced as well too. So when you put that and you incorporate that into how the battle pass is structured, 2 chance pulls if you buy the battle pass and go all the way through completion, mind you, you have to complete everything in the battle pass. So pretty much you can't miss a day, right? You can't really miss any days. It's tough because there's nothing to do. Who wants to log in just to do that every day? I mean, it's nothing to do. So it's for $10, what they're giving in the battle pass is valuable. I will say that, but when you're looking on the ground, it's not valuable to the people who they're trying to cater the battle pass to, which is the spenders. Right? The battle pass does nothing for free to play people because they can't get the tune, and they're still out of the tune. Go ahead.
I do think that by lowering the price, they are trying to make it more accessible to those that are more casual spenders or light spenders, but it still seems backwards because if you're trying to open up to more players willing to spend at least $10, the main attraction for them is what's going to keep them competitive, and the tune is what keeps them competitive because a lot of those are meta tunes, like Nor and Tyree. I mean, those are really solid tunes. The Rampage gun, yeah, it's great. Not a ton of use right now.
Bingo.
And you know, it's a little bit better than what you can craft. Like, okay, you can save your crafting resources, you can save the frustration at weapon crafting and trying to get that weapon, but it's not enough to make a difference as a tune would for most light casual free to play players.
Yeah, that's absolutely, and that's what you just said. You articulated it very well. That's another point that I would make too. It's not enough. Like, even though it's a $5, $10 difference than what it used to be, but before you would get a tune that was almost like a ultra tune for $20, you know. So it now to take that tune away, all right. So then this what this means, right? If the tune is not in the battle pass, where are they gonna put the tune at now? See what I'm saying?
Well, the thing is that the thing where they put the tunes is everything's behind the paywall now.
Yeah.
So if it's not in an advanced pull wheel, if it's not in an ultra pull wheel, it's in a collection. And collections, yes, while you can grind to them, ultimately you have to, again, it's one of those things that you have to have a dedicated grind. And unfortunately, we've seen collections where you may not even have enough to pull all the way, depending on what the outcome of that collection is. You may have to do a second set. So you may have to do 50 pulls, 100 pulls just to get, somebody, and then you have to wait either the second collection, or you may not have enough if you don't commit the daily grind. If you want the tune a little faster, then you have to pay for whatever that special token in order to pull from that collection is. But everything now is almost it's gridlocked. So everything that was accessible before is I'll safely say probably about 90 to 95% of the tunes that have come out in the recent update in terms of the wheels has been something where you have a paywall behind it. Slasher Beta is one of the newer ones that we see that it's not locked behind a paywall per se. It's locked behind a very long, what's going to seem like a very long and tedious grind wall.
Yeah.
But by the time that he's useful, and by the time that, the trauma meta is back, well, there's going to be tunes that are out that counter trauma.
Yep.
So we saw that happen with the S-Class meta, where that's where, things really started spiraling out of control, is where trauma became a thing. And you had S-Class Jesus with S-Class Terra, and you were just traumaing everybody to death. And then, let's create a tune that counters all that. And then it just spirals out of control.
Mm-hmm.
So now by the time beta becomes, viable, by the time that somebody gets him to, unless they get really lucky RNG on all their token, their daily crates when they open it, it's going to take a long time to get beta all the way up to Limit Break 3. So by the time you get him there, how useful is he at that point? Because who's not to say that there's already something out there that says, oh, trauma, don't worry about that. We take care of trauma. So it's literally stonewalled everybody that isn't willing to spend. Anybody who's not willing to spend is going to keep falling so far behind that you're just going to continue to alienate more and more of your player base. And I guarantee there's way more that are either casual, mild, or free to play than there are whales. And I know a few of us here in this chat can put ourselves into the whale category, but there's far more of the latter than the former.
Yeah,
There's not enough to sustain the way that this road is going right now.
and the thing is, for how competitive we are, there are quite a few new players coming into the game, but they're not playing the game the way we play the game. You see what I'm saying? They just enjoying the game because it's a Walking Dead game, but they're not trying to compete and be in top factions and stuff like that. They'll come, they'll do some story roadmaps, and they're logging off. They're not even like playing the actual, playing war and getting into these things, so it's tough on that end, and something has to give so that they can be able to do better and have more people come into the game, stay, and want to build and things of that nature. But even the progression missions, right? Like, you can't even really, a new player can't really progress on the progression missions either. Because after a certain point, you start hitting a wall. You can't go any further. So it's just difficult to see all around. And it just, like Mandy said, it looks like they just maintaining stuff and managing things and not really putting too much effort into building the game out, like they said they would. So I definitely can be able to see that and everything. But what do you guys see yourselves in the future of RTS? Like, how is this going to play out for you? Do you see yourselves on a downturn, or you still standing strong, trying to win this race coming up for the new, we had a new a walk season as well too. So
I guess I can start with that one. I'll admit I was very close to calling it quits after the last walk. I was going to stay where I was at, but I was going to step back in terms of what I was spending, what I was doing, and then certain circumstances arise after the last walk, which kind of brought me really back into the juice of the game. Obviously, there was a reinvigorated attempt to get Players United going again. The data that we collected, the letter that we submitted to Scopely, a lot of the stuff that we discussed. That I know that members of the Players Council using the data, including yourself, used the data that we gathered, a lot of the feedback, and presented it. So that kind of reinvigorated me. But I could honestly say, with a 2-month qualifier, or almost 2 months worth of qualifiers now, in order to lead up to walk toward the later half of January. I don't know. I don't know where my road leads. Obviously, I love playing with my friends. It's a good time. The community, like you said, you meet a lot of people over the years, and a lot of them become real life friends. But I can't speak for everybody, but I know that there's going to probably be a decent amount, again, after every walk we see it, that walk away from the game. And who knows how many more, pushes like that away from the game that RTS can actually sustain before before it just pulls the plug. There won't be enough players at any point. So for myself, I guess I see what the future holds after the next 2 months of qualifiers.
Absolutely. I definitely understand that. It's tough. Like I said, I dropped down faction. My faction currently not even in the running for World Champions. We're gonna try. Because I definitely want to get that World Champion tune. That's coming for sure. So I'm gonna try to get into walk with the faction I'm in. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the feeling I'm getting across a lot of people, to be fair, is they're literally hanging on for walk, to be fair. I know for me, certainly after WOC, I won't be on the competitive level like I am now. Whether I'll likely still continue in walkers, but I won't be spending like I will. I just can't keep up with it. It's just too much. You know, when they're releasing like 6 tunes a month, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
So, and the feeling I'm getting across, especially across my faction, it's the same. Really, they don't even want to keep spending. You know, it just feels like at the moment. I think they are making it worse because there is absolutely no means of getting these tunes. You literally have to buy them there, then and there, or you're just not going to get it. So, and it's like they're almost planting the fear of missing out, isn't it? Because if you don't get it, then you're not going to get it, and you don't exactly know how good it's going to be. So, yeah, I mean, there's got to be a line, isn't there?
Yeah, and I've been pretty selective in what I'm going after now myself. Because offense wins. Like a lot of the tunes we have, we don't see them. So like, do I really want to spend $300 on a defensive tune? You know, that like I have Kyle up right now on my screen. And he's gonna be a monster. But that's all because there are other defensive tunes in the game that you can pair him with, right? But the thing is, once you get him, he goes on a defense, you don't see him no more. So I think that if we have like a offensive onslaught, that will help as well. Because you actually get to play with those tunes, you actually get to see what they're like on a regular basis and stuff. So the only time you'll get to see or challenge your defensive tunes is when you're playing against a team that actually has them, right? And it may not even be your same setup; could be a different setup too. So, but I definitely get that sentiment as well. I have a lot of people who have left, you know what I mean, who left the game and stuff like that, and I hate to see it, but I'm hoping that things will turn around. WOC is coming upon us and everything like that, so I think that we'll see how it plays out. Anybody else?
Yeah, I mean, one thing I will say as a, better than it used to be kind of thing is overall the cost for these tunes, from my perspective, has dropped.
That's true.
I mean, I remember spending double the amount, triple the amount to get some of these tunes in the past. But now, especially if they continue with the, advanced token and ultra token offers that they had at the start, I think on average, it's probably anywhere between 50 to 120 to get these. But it seems like they've picked up the pace on how many are coming out. If we were looking at, a couple of these promo tunes, 2, 3 a month, maybe it wouldn't be as bad for many, at least at the top. But I can't even imagine trying to play, outside the top without those tunes either. Like it's just, I can imagine the frustration.
It's frustrating.
But
very.
yeah, but they have dropped. I mean, at least I'll give them that. And I will say with the 3 defenses, it definitely did help keep more tunes relevant. You need more tunes for your defense, obviously, but also on your attack. If you really want to, be competitive, be fast, you need to be able to adapt. It's not just the, one team to rule them all. So it does keep more tunes more relevant, and that was one of the things that they talked about when they first came out with the Mythic Era. So I will give them that. That is a plus. But again, it's the pace at which they're coming out and the total cost involved in this game is just too high.
Yeah,